Oh, yeah, it's just one or the other. Okay, okay, you still just got that. Oh, I do need to change that to live chat, because why would on earth would you want top chat? Okay, hey guys, I'm Phoenix here, and welcome to Scrap Mechanic. Now this is okay. So here's the deal. My Minecraft account doesn't accept my password or my email account at the moment. So that's a support ticket at the moment. It means I've got rather a lot of time on my hands, because although I want to play some Minecraft, I can't, because my Minecraft account is locked out. So what I've been doing is I've been having a bit of a poke at some other games that I've got on my library that I haven't really played. Now, this is a game called Scrap Mechanic, which I've had in my inventory since, I think, when it hit early access. Right, yeah. And I haven't touched it at all. There's a challenge. Okay, okay. What I'll do is I'll just go into one of these, see if these work. I think this is quite a good test for any early access game that changes its save game files. I think this is something that I'm definitely going to have to sort of start adding in to the sort of the tests, as it were. Because what we saw with Space Engineers was that it handled that very, very badly. So let's have a look at this. So the whole idea of Scrap Mechanic is that it's that sort of Minecraft building-esque type of game, where you have sort of blocks that you put together. Only it's more around not just bases, but just things that move. So you can have like really complicated doors, you can have vehicles, you can have things that all unfold. And it all seems to work really well. I mean, I was able to make a fairly simplistic railgun just by using tyres and, tyres that span around, a piece of block that I was using as ammunition. So, yeah, it all just seems to sort of just work as you would expect. And, okay, this is one of my old designs. Okay, this may not have, oh no, possibly. Let's have a look. Button's not connected to anything. How about that? Okay, so that's a timer to do that. Okay, right, okay, so we did have a very sort of simplistic type of thing here. Okay, I'm going to just exit that. I'm just going to go into a different one and see. New world. Load that one. Because I know I do have a save file here somewhere with something a little bit more complicated. Or at least I used to. This is just a world. Okay, maybe it doesn't handle save files particularly well. Load. Let's load my first one. I've entered the game. Ah, here we go. Yeah, okay, so, right. This is actually quite one of my more complicated worlds, and we can I can show you what's everything that's sort of going on here. So, I think this was a test with rockets. Hold on. Not completely certain. Oh, no. That was to test gears. If I could actually build gears. That one should be rockets. There's no return, evidently, but it was just a sort of a simple rail construction. Why isn't that? Ah, no, that's not it. Okay, well, tell you what we can do is we can go to, oh god, is it O? How do I move this thing back again? if it even went back, because I mean there's an awful lot of various little bits and pieces here. So this was basically a platform, and it kind of went in here, and you could move it into place. But anyway, let's right, okay, so for example, what we have over here is something that moves along and along a track, like so. The theory was that I could then potentially create a train system. So what I did over here was I actually built a turntable, like so. The idea being that if I can get, yeah, and I think this might be in the railgun. What was this? Oh, right, okay, yes. I was trying to build a crane system. Right. I'm stuck on it, under it now. Hold on. Right. Move along here. Right. Oh, I'm going this way. Did I not put a reverse in? But anyway, yeah, so you get the idea. The idea was that I could basically build a train system. And that's what this game does. It just all works. Now, if I was to try something like this in Space Engineers, for example, there'd be an awful lot of messing around with physics. The physics systems just would not work. And as a result, well, you would end up in a complete mess. So what we need to do here, I suspect, is connect all of that up. Right, so how would I do that? So currently these motors are all connected up so that they... I think what happens if I do that... and then connect that to... I can't connect that to... Okay, things are sort of happening. Right, now I can just have it onto there. Okay, so now we can just move our thing back. Now I think what I could probably do is something like pulling these wheels up. I do have to be a bit careful here because there's no barrier, but move it to about there. Spin it around, and then move it forwards. And as I said, all of this just works. And I don't know how they do it in the code, but that is quite incredible to just have something like that that just does things. And it's reasonably simple to do all of this stuff. I mean, that was the prototype for a crane, I believe, that I could actually sort of load things onto this cart and then move it around. So I think maybe I'm going to be doing some more experimentation with actually just building some trains, building some doors that go in front. This was a bit of an experiment with a door, I believe. Where's the button? I think it's this one. No, this was something else. Okay, just everything just works. Yep, that got me to the top of here, and then I could go over to this platform, and it would all just do things. And this one over here opens a door because, and it closes again. Sort of. Oh, evidently there's a bit of a problem with that door. And they probably need to close at the same time so they can't push one another in. But I could probably work that out in the timing circuit. That is actually meant to be, hold on, if I give it a bit of a... Oh, no, that's initial rotation. So that's going in. So those should actually be closing at the same time. Let's speed that up a bit. But for some reason... Oh, wait. No, that's linked into there, so that's a timer for that, whereas this is literally hooked into here. Here we go. Right, so instead of doing... Oh, no. Instead of doing that, let's close them at the same time. And that works fine. So evidently there's a bit of a problem with it closing one and then the other, probably because it's got to get past a gap. But this is the thing, right? Games like this thrive with very simplistic logic circuits. You can make very complicated things using basic logic and basic understanding of how the physics works. If the physics works in a specific way, then it should always work in that way twice. So why I like Stationaires, because you can set up a scenario where you pump a room full of hydrogen and you detonate it using some kind of a circuit. You know that from save to save, that circuit will run in the same way, and the effect will be about the same. Something like Space Engineers, if you were to set up that sort of a similar scenario with some kind of physics-based system, you don't know from one point to another, even from one hour to another, if it's going to run in the same way, because the physics might just go completely nuts and ruin everything. Whereas with this, it all just seems to work, and the idea here was that you put some ammunition in here, you flick the switch, and it propels it high into the air. So let's actually build something. Let's actually do something constructive. So let's extend this rail network out a bit, because I feel like we need to have a nice station over here, somewhere where we can get up and down, and possibly actually beefing this up a bit so that it's a little bit more... I can think of a way to do it actually. We'll keep this system here because this is all my prototypes. So maybe what we need is a slightly higher track, or not even a higher track. Maybe just on the over here. Let's put a track in over here, and go from there. Right. So let's see. Let's start off with, yeah. You can just pull things out. Very easy to build things. You just grab it and pull it out, and I think there's some hotkeys to pull it in different directions as well. I'm just going to make sure that's not actually hooked to anything. That's just a texture, I believe. Yeah, that's all just a texture. Okay, so we want a space of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. Oh yeah, physics. Physics is a thing. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, physics is sort of a thing. Let me guess, that's 1 out. Right, where... Can be just a little support down here, because I'm not completely certain where the... there we go. Right. Just fill in this as a sort of a... more like a support kind of structure. It's not needed to be nice, but It's more just for me. Okay, right. Okay, that will. I think that'll do. Just to bring it around here a bit more. There we go. So that is going to be first side of the track. There is meant to be a survival mode of some description coming along at some point in this, which will be interesting actually to see. Right, I did put in little supports here and there. Now, how do I... Ah, it's just Q. Now, how wide is my track? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5 wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 wide there. So I can do... Oh, damn it. There. And this bar won't remain, but so I can easily... Oh god, no. Right, Q, and then that gets me track. Nice. Now, I don't think I can do curved track, unfortunately, but I should be able to do well, I can do turntables. I've just demonstrated a prototype turntable here, which you could also use to I guess you could also automate these in some respect. But anyway, now I need to basically build myself a sort of a train yard, I think. So I need to go back to my prototype for a moment. Right, so having 2 blocks down won't be bad, I think. So if we can go down by 2. Whoops. Yeah. Keeps doing things that I don't really want it to do. Right. Essentially, I'm just building myself a workspace. Right, and then we put down this thing. So what this thing allows me to do is build structures on top of it. I can move it up, move it down, and essentially it allows you to build things on top. I mean, theoretically, can I just blueprint that, I wonder? Oh, I think I might be able to. Just put that onto there. And move it around. But what I want to do is, can I just blueprint that? What there? How do I So I can select it and I can move it around. What I quite like to do is essentially clone it. Can I do it? Here we go. So this is my train photo. And then I can just give it a quick description. Michelle train prototype. And then save. Excellent. So I can now load that blueprint on to any kind of No. Can I just undo that? Okay. So I can just build that, and then yeah. So that's just that. Okay. Right. Now let's get a new one in. It's got to be an easier way of doing this, but can I rotate? Oh, here we go. Sort of. Right, so we now have a train on here that will move along this track, but the problem is that it doesn't go forwards and backwards, and this is a problem because, well, it doesn't go forwards and backwards. So we're going to have to change. Okay, so I have two theories here. Either we change the design of the car, which wouldn't be particularly difficult to do. I think if I was to have some wheels that could almost like clamp down in place instead of these ones, that might work. So certainly we can just alter this prototype quite easily. Remove this wheel out here. Switch this sort of over with. What I might be able to do is, if I put a rotor, yeah. I'd need a switch, but yeah, there's an awful lot of stuff in here, and there's an awful lot of oh, you can do logic gates now. There's an awful lot of tutorials as to how all this stuff works, which is really nice, and it's nicely put together. So it shows you as a tutorial of how to do things, and there's videos as well, which is quite nice. But how do I change my hotbar? Oh, is it just I? Yes, it's just I. Right, okay. Yeah, bathtub. Excellent. This is gonna take some figuring out, I think. I think I've got to just remove all of that. And rebuild this clamp. around here. So how do I want this to hinge? If I hinge it out there, this is what I need, isn't it? It's a bearing. Do I want a bearing or do I want a? Yeah, it must be a bearing I want. So it would go down like that, essentially. Right, okay. Let's just connect. To there. I can't do that. There must be a control unit I need. Controller. It's fine that this is a bit sloppy. It's okay. There we go. Right. Okay. And I almost need an inspection pit now. To there. Now, theoretically, right. So now, theoretically, what I can do is, so default is that. So if I move this around to say 60 degrees, because I don't need it to come out to 90, it's minus 60 then. Minus 30, that would be fine. Excellent. Now, theoretically, at this point, if sorry, I'm just trying to work out how this is going to work. So if I have these come out, the problem is that essentially these are guide wheels. So these are there to make sure that the car doesn't sort of start moving off the side. Risky thing about this is that if there's some kind of shift in the load or whatever, this could actually potentially fall off, and we don't want that. These are the guide wheels. But that was quite interesting because I can just move the guide wheels down, potentially. Also, rather interestingly, the guide wheels don't actually need to move. The fact that they can move is irrelevant. They're there just to hold it in place. Right. Okay. Essentially, all I really need to do is be able to reverse these. Yeah, that would just repeat it. That's not what I want, is it? Is there another controller in here? Fixed speed and adjustable power. That just powers bearings. Fixed power and adjustable speed. Yeah, there's an awful lot more stuff in here now, just of more decorative blocks. Ooh. Just because it's a door, and you know me and doors. Is it open, or I think you might have to do that bit yourself. There you go, door. And it just does it. It's just, yeah. That's, I mean, I might be able to offset it a little bit. There you go, door. And then you can build your frame around there. This is something I'm going to be experimenting with more a bit, I think. Just because it's a door and it works, and you can then also do something like that. You can then hook that into there. Alright. Can you not do two at the same time? Evidently there has to be a way to do, well, I guess you could probably just control. Can you do two controllers at the same time? No. Yeah. Because ideally you want that. But for some reason... I mean, you could logic gate it, I bet. And wire that into there. Go like that. So that would be 90-degree angle, and then this would be an OR gate. So if any of those triggers are active, door opens, door opens. It's nice that they've got that logic gate in there now, so you can actually do that. It took me a moment to realise, oh yeah, logic gates, that's the thing. So you can then just move all that stuff in. I wonder if there's a glass block. That'd be nice. Metal glass block, yay. That's not right. There we go. That's rather a nice little little house there. Might be able to do something active if only one of the linked triggers are active. Yeah, it would be that one. Yeah, excellent. And then you can do things like bridge over to other aspects and do things. Well, I'm going to end this video here because basically at this point I want to just mess around with this without sort of recording everything. This is interesting because although I don't think this can do corners, it might be quite interesting to sort of build a train that goes somewhere or does something, but I want to investigate this a little bit more off camera, and I may revisit this later on, either today or possibly tomorrow, because I don't think I'm doing anything tomorrow, not much anyway, it being New Year's Eve and all. So yeah, I could do a New Year's Eve stream. Yeah, that's a possibility. But anyway, with that, I will say thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.